welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about my labor and delivery birth plan. This is like the official one that I have in my head that I'm going into this labor and delivery with. Obviously I'm open to changes, but there's some things that I'm definitely not doing under any circumstances. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and let's get started. So as we all know, my due date is coming up today. When I'm filming this, it is the 11th. My due date is literally in 13 days, so just under 2 weeks. With this comes with personal preferences, so if this is something that you don't like, or if there's something in here that you don't agree with, that is absolutely fine. And I'm gonna say stuff that some people aren't gonna like, but yeah, this is just a personal preference for me. Doesn't mean that if you do or don't do this that it's wrong or right. Like, it's my personal preference. So for labor, I want to labor at home for as long as I possibly can. It is known that if you go in too early, if you don't basically have your baby or progress as quickly as they want you to after 12 hours, they will C-section you. And I do not want a C-section, so therefore I'm gonna labor at home for as long as possible. So the next part is I want to stay as upright as possible whilst in labor, whether that be on a medicine ball, hunched over on a surface, or on all fours. I do not want to be confined to a bed. I want to make sure that I am able to move around, I'm able to be up and out, and just be able to get into positions that I want to be in. With monitoring of a baby, you have to stay still, sitting or lying on a bed, and that can actually slow down your labor. It can slow down the progress of your labor when your baby is positioned in you. If you're lying like this, the baby can't drop itself anymore, it can't progress down the birth canal, whereas if you're like this, do you see what I mean? So I want to make sure that I can be as upright as possible. And following on from that, I don't want to be hooked up to any monitoring machines. I know this is very, very, very personal, but again, hooking yourself up to monitoring machines reduces your movements. You're not able to move around, therefore it is going to slow down your neighbor. Might slow down your neighbor, but it's going to slow down your labor naturally. Before I even get to the hospital though, I want to, providing my waters don't break, I want to be in a bath for as long as possible to help ease contractions for the first part of labor. I do find I'm so used to having extremely heavy, like extremely painful period cramps, and I know that baths are an easy way to alleviate, as not a lot of pain, but some of it. So I'd like to be in a bath for some of my labor, provided my waters don't break. If your waters break, obviously you can't be in water because risk of infection and all the rest. But the other thing that I want to do is I want to practice hypnobirthing techniques, so like the breathing in for 4 and out for 5, listening to meditation slash hypnobirthing techniques. Why can't I speak? I'm trying to do this birth unmedicated, so no epidural, no morphine. These are just things that I am trying to do, like hypnobirthing. I just think it is one of the best ways that you can naturally relax your body, and I'm gonna really focus on it. And I've got Joseph there to help me to remember to focus on it, because when you're in a lot of pain, you forget all the things you said you were gonna do when you weren't in pain. And I want to make sure that I come out of this birth feeling like I did my absolute best for what I wanted to do. I'm gonna try and just use hypnobirthing techniques for the entirety of my labor. So then moving on from that, I don't want any pain relief unless I ask for it. I don't want it to be offered to me, but if I ask for it, then I will take it. And that is because I feel like when you are in a position, like a vulnerable position, like being in pain, and someone offers you something, you will very quickly take it. Whereas if it's not being offered to me, I feel like I won't take it as easily. Again, this is just personal preference. I want to see what my body can get through naturally without pain relief. That is my aim. I want to avoid an internal examination. Obviously, for them to see my dilation, I will happily let them up there, no problem at all, but I don't want to sweep. I don't want an induction, as in putting, what's called, begins with P, pessary. It's like a tablet. You can take it orally or you can shove it up. I don't want to be induced. and I don't want an internal examination. So on to delivery. The only person that I want in that room with me is Joseph. I don't want my mum. I don't want anyone else in the room bar Joseph. Personal preference, I want this to be between just me and him. I want it to just be me and him and our moment and our family. So no one will be in that room bar him. I want to avoid a C-section at all costs, hence my labour preferences. I'm doing all of these things to avoid a C-section. I'm going to push on the recommendations of the midwives and the doctors. However, if I feel like I need to push, I'm going to push. You know, the midwives and the doctors there are there to tell you to push or to not push based on your contractions. However, if my body is telling me to push, I'm going to push. Obviously contractions, they contract, so they're going to be pushing your baby out naturally, but if they're basing it only off of that and not what my body's telling me, I'm going to be like, look lads, my body's telling me to push, I'm going to push. In terms of a C-section, so I obviously am not stupid. It's not like I'm going in being like I'm only having a natural delivery, because anything could happen. If I have a C-section, first of all, I want a second opinion on why I'm getting a C-section and if it is absolutely necessary. If it is a case that I'm just not progressing, I'm not getting it. So if a C-section is absolutely necessary, I want Joseph with me at all costs. He is not to leave my side. I am refusing to have one otherwise. And with that, if for some reason they have to put me asleep for the C-section and therefore he can't come in with me, if they have to put me asleep for the C-section, which rarely happens, but just in case it does, I want the baby to be given straight to Joseph. I do not want to go into a nursery until I wake up. I want to go in straight to Joseph. Joseph has a baby, and then with that I want instant skin to skin with the baby after I deliver. And whether it's with me, whether it's with Joseph, either way I will take skin to skin with either of us. And then I want him to be pushed straight onto my boob for breastfeeding, obviously with help with the midwives and people that are there. I just want to initiate breastfeeding as soon as possible. I know you can start pumping for colostrum at 37 weeks, however it's also been recommended not to pump because you can start oversupplying your breast milk. So I'm not pumping, however I do want to breastfeed, so he will be put straight onto my boobs and getting his milk. I'd also like to do delayed cord clamping. I know my hospital actually does this anyways, but I would love to do delayed cord, oh my god, my voice. I would love to do delayed cord clamping, which basically just means that they leave the umbilical cord on the baby till all the blood passes through and the cord goes white. There's so many health benefits from it long term about getting that extra bit of blood into his body, so I would rather it in him than in me. In terms of cutting the cord, I'm leaving that up to Joseph. If Joseph wants to do it, he can totally do it. If he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't have to. Also as well, hospitals can be fussy with who cuts the cord. I know in our hospital's like leaflet booklet they actually suggest the midwife do it, so I'm gonna leave it up to Joseph. It's completely up to him. So on whether I birth the placenta naturally or get the injection, I do not mind. I am leaving that completely up to the nurses, whatever they think. If they want to give me that jab in the leg, then that is no problem. At this point I'm gonna have my baby in my arms. I'm like, do what you want down there, don't care. Visitors, so this one is controversial. We are only allowing grandparents in the hospital, so it'll just be my mum, my dad and Joseph's mum coming to the hospital to see the baby. I don't want anyone else there. I have never done this before, Joe's never done this before. I want to enjoy our time as the two of us, because I know once we get home everyone's going to be wanting to see him. But that also moves on to home visits. For the first week we are only having immediate family over, so my grandparents, Joseph's grandparents and Joseph's siblings. Everyone else is not allowed come over for the first week because I am going to be knackered. I am going to be tired. I don't give a shit what if anyone wants to see the baby, kiss the baby, love on the baby. I don't care. I want to enjoy my time with the baby. I want to enjoy my time with my family, and that's all that matters to me. I really don't care what anyone else thinks. And then the last one, which is very controversial, no one's allowed to kiss the baby. No one is allowed to kiss the baby for the first little while. I don't care who you are, don't care if it's grandparent, don't care if it's great grandparents, don't care if it's siblings, don't care if it's friends, don't care if it's Don't care who it is. No one said I could stop baby, bar myself and Joseph. That is my that is my labor and delivery birth plan. I wanted to get it out there just in case anyone were trying to figure out about theirs, if there was anything that, you know, people wanted to do on theirs but were unsure of. And I hope this has given you some ideas, or it's clarified some things for you. Obviously I will let you know after the birth how it actually went and what happened. But yeah, if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.